Hey, what's up, everybody? Frederick Polk here. So I was talking with a friend of mine today. She'd worked on Capitol Hill during the Obama administration. And we were talking about the Grassley town hall and some of the takeaways from that. Now, I've only watched clips of it, but she's the kind of person that she watched the whole thing. And we were talking about this and that and how people were upset, especially about Abrigo Garcia. But she made this really interesting point. She said, Republicans lately seem to be talking to their voters like they're stupid. And I said, well, yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. She says, no. They treat them like they're stupid, but they never talk to them like they're stupid. And so I kind of asked her to expound on that. And what she said was really interesting. See, the thing that we forget with MAGA, and I'm bad for this too, is that they're stupid both morally and intellectually. And the reason they're stupid morally is, well, for the policies they advocate, because they don't care about their impact on the world, or, they buy into things like empathy is a sin, or this notion that they have of Jesus Christ is not the biblical Jesus whatsoever. But the other part of it is just they've been so propagandized, they don't really understand how the world works. They think they do because their leaders and Fox News and everything else sells them on this false reality. The thing we forget, though, is there's this promise that reality will eventually pay off. That once all the liberal tears have been shed, once all the civil rights have been stripped away, once they've gotten so much freedom from right to work and the economic floor being taken out from under them, that somehow, magically, we're just all going to be rich. And the thing is, that's not happening now. I mean, it was never going to happen, but it's definitely not happening now. And it's so brazen because of Trump that it's getting harder and harder to ignore. And that's where this bubble that they've been so carefully ensconced in, both by their own selves and by a propaganda machine that's been, 40 decades in the making, that it's starting to crack. And part of that reason is, and why it's important, is because of Trump. Now, Trump, I will stand by this. He does not have some grand plan. He's not a grand strategist. In fact, everybody that's worked for him, from Rex Tillerson to General Mattis to Michael Cohen, says he's an imbecile. And then he doesn't think past 5 minutes. And if you look at his business, mostly people who've been around him have really just kind of tried to contain him. They use him for PR. He's good with the rubes, but you never let him in charge of anything. And when that's happened, it's been a catastrophe. Time and time again. And that's the thing right now. Trump, everything he's doing, if you look at it through the lens of spectacle, it's all for his base. And sure, there's a big part of his base that loves that. They don't care the impact. They just want to see people hurt. But there's another part of MAGA that really bought into this, or Trump supporters that thought, oh yeah, the protectionism and the tariffs, that's going to bring the jobs back. Or, oh yeah, he's just going to get rid of the criminals, but he's going to do it through the courts, and he's not. And so it got me to thinking, like, what happens when all that kind of comes crashing down? And we're starting to see a little bit of it, because the courts are already starting to push back really hard. The next one to fall will be the legislative branch, that really is going to understand that there is going to be political consequences for going along with Trump. Because once that base starts to peel off for him, because the leaders are talking to them like they're stupid, I think we're going to see some movement. Hopefully, anyway. That's all I got for you. Keep the faith, defend democracy, and I'll see you later.